So this is an update on building the hexagonal infinity structure. Before you see the plans that I used for building the structure. It's basically 13 inches tall, and each of the panels is 8 inches wide. And there's a beveling that we placed along 60-degree angle that we built into the cutting of the 8-inch panels. And gluing it together was much more of a challenge than I originally thought it would be, and that's because I didn't quite understand how the particular glue that I had purchased worked. So I did a few sample sheets, but I do recommend this glue. It's an acrylics glue. It has about a 5-minute setting time, and it's kind of a thick paste, and it doesn't flow just everywhere. It just only stays where you put it. And I would basically squeeze a bit of it into aluminum foil here, and then use a toothpick to sop up some of it and go along and apply it to the edges. I removed the plastic sheeting, protective sheeting first before I did that, before applying it, because I didn't want any glue to get along the protective plastic sheeting. So what I would do is I would place one of the panels into the bottom, and notice here what I've got down here is a wax paper sheet, and that's because any glue that might be along this edge I did not want sticking to the wood. So I have this sheet down here, and I've taped it down so that it doesn't move. So I place one of these sheets in here, and then I would clamp it in to the base using one of these clamps with a protective around it, and it would just clamp along the wood like that in order to hold it in place. And then I would place the glue along the edge, as mentioned before, and it would be a relatively thick bead that goes along this edge. And as I say, about 5 minutes. You have to be very careful when you glue this, though, that you don't get little strands of glue that come off you kind of pull off little strands, and those strands can go everywhere, and you definitely don't want that to get in the way of the mirror. In any case, once I had this edge with the glue on it, I would place it in here very carefully, and the beveled edges mitered edges would fit together nicely, and then I'd place another clamp along the top to hold it in place, and just let it sit there for a few hours. Caution, I previously, in one other experiment, I tried using this glue here. This is an acrylics glue, but it's very, very thin, and you basically put it in a tube like this, and it's got an extremely fine point on it that you then could use to go along the edge. Unfortunately, this is so thin that it goes everywhere, and so I really caution you against using that, because it can make a big mess of things if you're not really good at it, and if the edges aren't perfectly mitered and fit together. And I just don't think it's worth it, and I haven't had good experience in the past with it. So I do recommend this acrylics glue that I got from Amazon. And what I did was build 3 sheets together like this. I would build the 3 sheets, and then so ultimately I had 2 sections, each of which are 3 sheets, and I had to put the 2 sections together. So I did that by gluing one edge at a time on the infinity structure. So I would, for example, I would glue this one edge here and put it together, and I'd hold it together with tape. And I had placed some wax paper along this edge again, so that when it fit over this glued edge here, it did not cause any sticking of the glue to the tape. So in the end, it came out pretty well. I only damaged one panel a little bit. Some glue got onto it, but other than that, the infinity structure looks very nice, and the only thing needed now is to cut the top end to glue it. So that's my update for you. Thanks for watching.